Listen very carefully and follow my instructions. Prepare your brain for the Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast.
I gotta tell you, being an entrepreneur, I will not go through the rest of my career without taking nootropics. Aniracetam, Paracetam, Modafinil, Nupec, Uridine monophosphate. I mean, phenylparacetam, forget it. You can always have a better brain.
The Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast is about to begin.
Episode number 105 of the Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast. I am your host, Ryan Michael Bell. Thanks so much for being with me in this podcast. We're going to talk about finding focus with nootropics, which for me, I think consulting folks on a regular basis, that's one of the major things that people struggle with. You know, it's either verbal fluency, memory, or focus. And a lot of times it's focus. These days, I mean, obviously, like, I'm not going to run through the broken record that we've got too much coming at us, so focus is difficult. But it is important. I mean, it's like, if you can manage to sit yourself down for 2 to 4 hours and actually move the ball on impactful stuff in your life, you know, things take a long time to work, but over the course of a month or 2 months or 3 months, you can actually make some progress. And I think that's what we're all looking to do. So I want to break down some stacks and some things that I've been working on myself that allow me to have those windows of focus that work really well. A couple powerful products support every shred of information we put out on this podcast. Here they are. Number one, we have a nootropic stack. It is called Cortex. If you want a motivation, verbal fluency, mental energy, and mood stack, basically an everything stack, you've got to buy the Cortex nootropic stack. It is getting rave reviews, has for as many years as it's been out. And it's awesome. There's 2 options if you want some specials. You could use the coupon code 5, F-I-V-E, to get a bottle of Cortex for $28 at livecortex.com. Or you could get a bottle for $25, but you just have to buy 2, which is an awesome deal. It's 2 bottles for $50 total, $25 a bottle. That is called the Cortex Double Stack, and that is on the homepage at livecortex.com. If you need my help personally on anything related to nootropics, our Nootropics Consulting Service, the most popular service we have used all around the world, where we do custom stack formulation for you. We will get you on stacks that actually make a difference. Get the consulting package at livecortex.com right now, and for another week, it'll be $55. Super cheap. And lastly, if you're new to nootropics, buy Smarter, Better, Faster. That is a book we wrote for you if you're new to nootropics. It's basically the book to get. It's digital, so you can download it if you're new to nootropics. And if you want to take that to the next level, just buy the Nootropics Starter Pack, which is Smarter, Better, Faster, our book, plus a bottle of our Stack Cortex in a package deal. Good stuff at livecortex.com. And if you need some more comprehensive help, we've got some 6-call packages. We've got 3-month packages. We've got 6-month packages on nootropics consulting. Email me at ryan@livecortex.com and let's work something out. All right. So again, yes, focus is a critical thing. And I think a lot of people use nootropics to achieve that, because it's some combination of things in their lives have put them in a place where they don't focus well. I have been experimenting with nootropics for the greater part of the last 11 years, and I have found things that make me focus harder than I've ever focused before, but it changes. One of the things that I've been talking about lately that I think is important for people to know is that your stack now and how it's affecting you now is not necessarily how it's going to be affecting you in 6 months. Generally, in 3 to 6 months, it's going to change, and that's based on kind of what's happening in your brain, what neurotransmitters the stack is working on, what feedback regulatory homeostatic mechanisms are taking place in response to the neurotransmitter modification, and things of that nature. So it kind of has to be a constant experimentation process. And in my current brain state, my current kind of neurotransmitter receptor setting, there's a couple things that I want to share with you that are working extremely well. Okay, so here's the first stack. The first stack is a phenylparacetam, aniracetam, oxiracetam, alpha GPC stack that I've been experimenting with to find the doses that work really well for me. Here they are. It is 75 milligrams of phenylparacetam, 350 milligrams of aniracetam, 700 milligrams of oxiracetam, and 150 milligrams of alpha GPC. I have had with this stack some of the strongest bouts and the longest bouts and kind of the most consistent lasered in bouts of focus that I have had in a long time. I've had some stacks for that in the past, but they kind of changed their effects. I needed to take a break from some of those stacks and then come back and try something different, work on a different system. But I got to tell you, this stack, and if you can find a combination of phenylpiracetam, aniracetam, oxiracetam, and GPC that works for you, it's going to allow you to focus for consistent periods of time, and that's the only way you get work done. So I'm like obsessed with this stack right now. We just did a video on it at the Cortex Labs Nootropics channel on YouTube, and that is my stack number one for finding focus. It's my current focus stack, but I got a couple other ones that I want to share with you. The second one is modafinil-centric stack. It goes like this. It's modafinil in 50 milligrams, pramiracetam in 200 milligrams, caffeine in 200 milligrams, theanine in 200 milligrams, and alpha GPC in 200 milligrams. It's a lot of 200s here with the exception of the modafinil. It's a variation of a stack that we suggested to a college kid who's doing a lot of kind of programming scientific work, who responds super well to it. I mean, the kid has never taken a stack that affected him that positively. A little different doses, but kind of the same template. This stack gives me such extreme focus, but the benefit and the difference between that and the previous stack that I mentioned is that this focus lasts a long time. I'm talking about 5 to 7 hours. I am in. It'll be hard to get me to stop focusing on what I'm focusing on. I really don't even want to take pee breaks. My brain is just locked in to what I'm doing. And I got to say, during this time experimenting with this stack, it's allowed me to get more done. I mean, I look at my done list. I use a program called Todoist, where you can basically just like log in with your Facebook account. It's kind of like a to-do list, but it tracks your done list. You know, you can click off everything you've done for the day and then go look at it at the end of the day. And it's very, very cut and dry and very quantifiable that my done list has more stuff on it. So I'm actually getting more done when I take that stack, okay? The third stack that I want to bring in is a little different. It's kind of unlike any other stack that we've talked about before, primarily because it's bringing in two racetams that together typically aren't stacked, but I found a way for it to work for me. Here it is. It's a gram of aniracetam, 30 milligrams of fasoracetam, GABA B upregulating cholinergic nootropic, 150 milligrams of CDP choline, 100 milligrams of theacrine for the stimulant effect, and then 200 milligrams of theanine. So what I suspect is happening here, I mean, the focus is insane on this one. It's a little short-lived. We're talking about 3 to 4 hours, but I just am locked in. What I think is happening here is the aniracetam is stimulating AMPA receptors, so it's giving me a nice, good stimulation to want to work. It's helping my memory, and when my working memory works good, it's easier to focus. Because if you think about it, focus is you keeping your attention on one thing for a while, which if your working memory is enhanced and working better, it makes focus a lot easier. But the trick, I think, with this stack is the fasoracetam with the aniracetam. Fasoracetam has historically always been a very calming nootropic for me, and it doesn't put me in a sedated state, but it chills my brain out to where focus is easier. And for me to just sit and kind of give my attention to something is a lot easier. The interesting interplay between aniracetam and fasoracetam mechanistically is what I think is really allowing me to sit down and do this. But bringing in L-theanine to the stack, which is at the end of the stack, it just helps my brain to slow down. So I have the perfect combination of speeding my brain up and slowing it down without either of them canceling each other out. And the only way that you do that is you get specific with doses. It actually took me a week and a half on that particular stack to get those doses correctly. I started out with a different ingredient quantity of all of them, and then I had to kind of change each one at a time, write it down, record it, and then re-experiment to get to where I'm at now. But I promise you that process, like we've been talking about in some of our videos recently, of changing one ingredient quantity at a time, and then retesting, and then recording it, and then analyzing it, and then changing the next ingredient, I promise you that process is worth it. Okay, so any one of these stacks you could try yourself. Start with the template of the doses that I suggested, and then if it isn't perfect for you in terms of focus, then just change one ingredient quantity at a time in either direction. Go in small increments, like on racetams that you take in either 500 or 1,000 milligram quantities, like Aniracetam or oxiracetam. Change it in about 200 milligram increments. For something like phenylpiracetam, change that in 30 milligram increments. For something like pramiracetam, change that in 50 milligram increments. And for something like modafinil, change that in 25 milligram increments. For theanine and theacrine, change those in 50 milligram increments to find kind of your best sweet spot. Okay, so I hope that's been super helpful. Thanks for listening to episode number 105 already of the Cortex Labs Nootropics podcast. I am your host, Ryan Michael Bell. Make sure to check us out on the web at livecortex.com/blog, because all of our videos that we posted on YouTube, we actually now have as blog posts on that blog. If you go in the footer of livecortex.com, right at the bottom of the website, you can actually search for any nootropic compound there is, and it'll render a list of all the videos that we've done on that nootropic compound. There's got to be 20 or 30 or maybe even more of each compound on the website. Like us on Facebook, please, if you would, facebook.com/Cortex Stacks. And remember, everything we do here is brought to you by a couple products. The Cortex Nootropic Stack is the most prominent. I mean, look, we've got a special thing going on here with the Cortex Stack. It is strong. It will make you focus. It will get you motivated. It'll give you energy. It'll heighten your mood. It basically does everything. Specials on Cortex right now are the coupon code 5, F-I-V-E, will get you Cortex for $28 a bottle. But if you really want a deal, we can take it down to $25 a bottle if you buy 2 bottles. That's the Cortex Double Stack. Get that at livecortex.com on the homepage. If you need my help on any of this stuff and want my consulting services, we have a couple packages. One's a 40-minute call with me, 15 follow-up email correspondences, custom stack formulation. That is $55 right now, as cheap as it's ever been. That'll be like that for a week. But if you're somebody who needs longer-term work, we have a $550 package, which gets you 6 calls with me, unlimited emails throughout that time, where we really nail down stacks and a schedule that work for you. If you need longer term work, we've got 3-month and 6-month packages. Those are obviously a little more expensive. Email me at ryan@livecortex.com if you would like to see if we can set something up and negotiate on a good price. And if you're new to nootropics, buy Smarter, Better, Faster, digital book that we wrote that teaches you how to use nootropics. Or get the Nootropic Starter Pack, which is Smarter, Better, Faster, plus a bottle of our Stack Cortex in a package deal. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. Rock on. Talk to you next time.